What's up, y'all? Welcome to Livin With The Mahands cooking show. I'm your host, Livin With The Mahands, which you know what I'm saying, my name is Darius, aka Livin With The Mahands. Right now, I'm gonna prepare you something called fried fish with mac and cheese and mixed veggies. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our fish, which is right here. I got about, depends on how big your household is. You might want to say get about maybe 3 or 4 of these right here. You cut them open. Excuse me for a second, guys. You want to cut your fish. You want to cut your fish open, and you want to put them in the flour. What you want to season. You want to use like all-purpose flour. Depends on what you want to use. Some people use different seasons for their fish, but I prefer, flour and a little bit of seasoning or whatever. You're gonna use not too much, but only enough to coat your fish. Which you're gonna use this right here, all-purpose flour. You don't want to use too much, just enough to, like I said, just enough to coat your fish with. Then, what you want to use is this right here. A little bit of this right here. And mix it around. Now, what I got going right here, I got my water going for the mac and cheese. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of salt for the water. Not too much because you don't want to make it salty. Not too much. So, now we're back at our fish. But before we cut our fish open, we're going to use our oil. Alright. We're going to use our cooking oil. Once again, you want to use just enough oil to actually, start your fish with. You don't want to use too much. If you use too much, then it's going to, it won't turn out. It won't turn out. All right. Sorry, y'all. Do something real quick. But, like I say, you want to get your oil started. Because you don't want to cook like you don't want to cook one dish as you're going along. You want to do at least, 2, maybe about 3 dishes. Now, as we got our oil setting, we're going to go to our cabinet. Now, we're going to open our fish. We're going to open our fish up. fish. Sit it in our mix. And we're gonna do the same with these guys right here. Then, once you got all of your fish set the way you want it, and your oil is hot, then you're gonna drop your fish in the oil. But you gotta make sure first that your oil is hot. You don't wanna just sit it in there and it's just not, getting too hot. So always make sure that your oil is hot when you do your fish. One more. Put your pan on. Alright. Alright, now we got our fish. We got our little fish buddies laying in our seasoning with the flour. And your next thing is you want to find something. We're going to find something to cover those with, which I do have a top for it, which I don't know where it is at this point. Matter of fact, I was just mine. This is the top. You want to cover your fish. Now, as we got that going, you want to get your veggies started. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this right here for the mac and cheese, right here. We're going to use that. So as we got everything going at the same time, now we get to open our veggies. Okay. Once you get your veggies opened up, then you start the next thing. Alright, once we, sorry y'all, it's taking a minute, but once we get our oil set, we're going to check our oil. We're not going to deal with that right now. Hold on guys, I'm going to be right with you. Now, got some veggies open. Which is these right here. Got your veggies open right here. Then get that started. Use a little salt, not too much. Now, what you want to do now, we're back to checking our oil. You're going to take just a little bit of flour, and you want to dash in it to make sure it's hot. Then once you make sure that's going, take the fish that's in here now, and you give it a little twisty shaky. I know y'all wondering, what in the world is twisty shaky? But no, like I said, what you want to do is you want to coat your fish real good. So when you drop it in the oil, you want to make sure it's coated. Don't be afraid if some of your fish, breaks apart, Don't be afraid of that. Now, that we got our fish going, now we can start on our mac and cheese. So, I'm going to get this open here. We're going to drop these guys in our water. We're going to take a hot bubble bath. Put them in the hot water. This is the cheese sauce right here. Right. Now, once we get our shells done for the mac and cheese, make sure that your shells are soft. You always want to make sure that they're done. Make sure that your shells don't stick to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So, now we're going to look for our tongue for us to put the fish. So once our fish is like done on one side, what you want to do is you want to flip your fish. Alright? So as we got this going, move this out the way to got oil. Okay. And I want to give a shout out to everybody, man. Living with the Colemans. Give a big shout out to her. Big shout outs to Ready Gang Collection. And a big shout out, major shout out to Livin With The Hindrances, man. He's actually going to be doing probably a couple more videos. I don't know if he's going to do it on Facebook or he's going to do it on YouTube. But there will be videos and new content from him and also from me We're actually going to be working on a project called Cooling Out 2, The Return of the Family. You guys make sure that you're up there for that. Now that we got our fish going, like I said, you want to make sure that your fish is always done on one side. You want to make sure of that. When you just, you just drop them in there, you want to make sure that they're good and brown on one side. If not, you want to, let it cook a little bit longer. So if it's to your liking, then you flip it, and then you let it cook, cook even more. And once you do that, then you drop your next batch of fish in your cooking oil so it can start the next process. So, we got this little button want to get flipped, so we're going to get him. We're going to carefully drop him down in the oil. Now, once we got these guys cooking, we're going to come back to our mac and cheese. We're going to come back to our macaroni shell. Give it a little stir. Make sure they don't stick to the bottom. Yeah. Now that you got your flour and everything set, you want to put everything back. Make sure you always, put your flour back. There we go. About to fix me a little drink real quick, which we gonna fix a little bit of half and half, which is tea and lemonade. Alright, y'all, I'm still here. I haven't left. Right. Now, we're going to go back to our fish. Take these boys out. You want to make sure all your oil is off that fish. Sorry, y'all. We just flipped our first half of that fish. We want to check on our veggies, which they're done. We're going to cut that off. Once we get our fish done, we move on to the next. Right, y'all. Yeah. Now, I want to show y'all. Once I get this dripped out real quick, I'm going to show you. Yeah. See that? That's our fried fish right here. Look good, don't it? So now, we'll drop that in our bowl. And we're going to start our next drop. We're going to coat your fish real good, make sure it's good and coated, and drop it in there. Just like we did the first batch. All right? Alright, so you want to turn your oil down. You don't want it too hot. Alright, so I'm going to season up. Alright, now that we got our veggies done, see that? That's our veggies. Be right back, y'all. Alright, y'all, I'm back. Now, let's get that Thai macaroni. Make sure that they don't stick to the bottom. You want to make sure of that. Once you know your shells are softened, then you take your strainer and you strain all the water off of your macaroni. Okay? So we're going to move our fish out of the way. We're going to get our strainer. We're going to make sure our strainer is clean so we can, strain our noodles. Once we got that, then that's when we add our little bit of butter, our milk, and our cheese sauce for the mac and cheese. Now that we got our strainer, we're gonna carefully take our noodles and we're gonna strain them right over. Okay? got that done, you want to lift your noodles out of that water. If you got some that's still left in that water, then you put them back in there. So as that's going, we got that going. Now, we're going to come back into our fish. But before that, we're going to get our milk. Doesn't matter which milk you want to use. Some people use 1%, 2%, or they use whole milk. So, when you get your whole milk straight, you get your butter, which is right here. This is the best butter to use. Now, you want to get your teaspoon of put your butter in there. Hold on, y'all. Now, I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. So now, once you got your butter in here, now you want to add your milk. Not much, just a little. You're going to carefully drain. Make sure you got enough in there. Once you got that going, now, guess what? You get to open this bad boy up, which is our cheese sauce.
Please follow me on TikTok.
Alright. Now that we got our cheese sauce open, we're gonna get to our fish.
Then put your cheese sauce to the mac and cheese, and then let it boil for a bit, and then you'll be done.
Same process, you let your oil drip off your fish. Same process. Now, then we got that. I'm gonna cut that off. And now for the cheese sauce. I'm gonna put that in there. Make sure you get it all. It does have a little bit more in there. You don't want to just waste your cheese sauce in here. Then, what you want to do now, you want to carefully stir it. Stir your mac and cheese real carefully. Now, turn it on low. And as you got that on low, you don't want to, make sure that you don't want to, burn your noodles. Some people do, but mistakes happen, but you don't want to keep doing. So,
got that going.
Hold on, y'all. Alright, y'all. So now we back. I'm sorry. We had a couple interruptions. Alright, y'all. And we got that done. And we'll be back for us to show y'all the finished product. And once again, y'all, I am back with the finished product. This is our fried fish right here, our mac and cheese, and the mixed veggies. So if you guys like more dishes like these, we'll gladly make more. So with that being said, y'all, peace, love, and respect.